Hey guys, I'm Farrahs and welcome back to the World of Madness, once again, as always. And guess what? I'm back in my home. I finally managed to make my way back from the death trap known as somebody else's place. Which was actually quite a fancy looking place, I'm going to be honest, because, I just kind of have to be honest about this, because I quite liked it. Granted, wasn't my style of building. Which is what people expect me to say, because, pompous. But I'm not, so I would actually say that... this is one thing I've always found impressive, is I inspire people to build, which is something I wanted when I started doing these sort of videos, is I wanted to inspire people to build, and that was kind of my main sort of aim for building and being a builder, that sort of thing. So when people tell me that they are inspired by my buildings, I love it. I'm very egotistical about it as well. Which is what I kind of like about the 30-day challenge thing, is people might have noticed this as well. I've not been doing weekends when it comes to the 30-day challenge, because I do spend time with my family and stuff, so that is the time I spend doing that, really. But I like inspiring people. Now, oh, wait, yes, before I forget. So, somebody was very kind and amazing and showed me that there's an off button to auto-jump. Auto-jump off! Oh, happy days! Oh, I don't have to deal with that stupid auto-jump now. I miss it already. I can't live without it now. I've lived with auto-jump for so long, I can't go back to normal life. Okay, I'm over it. Let's go. Right, so what we're actually doing today is we're going to do a bit of mining. And people are going to wonder, why are you doing mining, Farrahs? Why don't you just do that off camera? And my reaction to that is, my series, my rules. No, my reaction to that is that I like to spend this sort of time talking about various things. And one of the things I actually want to talk about this week is reviews, and the best sort of places to go for reviews for either games or so games or movies. So if you're going to go based on rankings for movies, if you're going to go based on what people have put with a number or a score, my best advice to people is to ignore anything from Rotten Tomato. Now, people are going to say, why? It's one of the most popular ones. And that is one of the problems I have. A low score from Rotten Tomato can actually completely ruin a movie and will stop people from watching it straight up. In general, people will never see that movie. And the problem I have with that sort of thing, and the way that works, is that if you're basing a movie based on just what you've seen of a rank, you're not actually getting to see what the movie is. So, what I've started to notice recently, because I went to see, what's it called? I've forgotten what the movie's called. Suicide Squad. So I went to see Suicide Squad. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I'll avoid that at all costs. Because I genuinely think if you're reviewing a movie, you should avoid any spoilers at any point. You should never ever give anything away about the plot. Right? Most people say that's quite hard to do. You can't talk about something without giving away the plot. It's freaking easy to do. Right? You just avoid saying anything stupid. Which is quite an easy task if you know what you're doing. But in my case, so I went to see Suicide Squad, and I came out... I am not a DC fan. I'm going to make this very clear. I'm not a DC fan. I've never liked DC. It's not been a... it's not really been my kind of movie, my kind of comics series. I've never liked Superman. Superman in a whole was a poor character. He had no real development to him or anything like that. But Suicide Squad, as well as Ben Affleck playing Batman, has definitely got me interested in the DC movies. I ended up actually... I'd heard a lot of bad reviews about Watchmen, and this is one of my sort of proven points here. I'd heard a lot of bad reviews about Watchmen, so I never saw it. I never wanted to watch it. At which point I then decided, after watching Suicide Squad, I decided to watch The Watchmen, see what it was about, because Suicide Squad has been given a terrible review by Rotten Tomatoes and a bit of IMDb as well. IMDb I've usually trusted a bit more in the past because they are very honest with their reviews, and they do take in a lot of things to account. However, Rotten Tomatoes, not as much, hence the reason I would not advise them if you're ever going to look for a review online. Now, as far as Suicide Squad is concerned, the acting talent was fantastic. I don't think you could have found a better group of people to play the characters that were being played. Harley, Margot Robbie playing Harley was fantastic. Will Smith as Deadshot was also fantastic. Once again, don't think they could have chosen better actors for that. Same with the guy playing Captain Boomerang. Now, obviously, I don't know the names of a lot of the actors. I've never been keen on them. I've never been keen on actors. Is it El Diablo or El Dorado? No, it's El Diablo, isn't it? Actor, absolutely amazing, right? That's one of the things which was actually complained about for the characters, is they weren't given enough depth. And they weren't talked about enough. Also, can I just say, Killer Croc, fantastic for both makeup and what do they call it? The actual actor as well, because he was brilliant as Killer Croc, and I don't think they could have picked a better person to play him. Once again, don't know who the actors are, so just rolling on with that. But as far as the actual acting goes, it was fantastic. I couldn't have asked for a better sort of lineup of people. Now, next up is the story. Now, most people, if you read a lot of reviews, the first thing that comes out is, or the first thing that is usually said is, there wasn't enough Joker. Now, I'm gonna actually, if you've sat there and you're thinking that because you've already seen the movie, or you have, or you are only going based off the reviews, then I'm definitely going to suggest to you guys to go watch it, and keep these words in mind. It's not called Joker the movie. It's called Suicide Squad. And Suicide Squad has nothing to do with Joker. And you have to remember that. It might have Harley Quinn in it, but she is a side character to the Joker, right? And Suicide Squad gives them the benefit of showing off more of Harley without having to have the Joker involved. Now, the fact that the Joker is involved definitely gives her a bit more depth as a character. But one thing you've always got to remember, and this may happen with quite a few movies, right? You might say, I don't know, something like, I don't know, there wasn't enough Wonder Woman in Superman vs. Batman. Huge reminder, it's not about those characters. You have to keep an open mind about which characters it is. So Suicide Squad, not about the Joker, doesn't need the Joker in it as much as you might think. Alright, so I actually think, to be fair, this is going also based off the next thing I'm going to say, that is. When I first heard Jared Leto was playing the Joker, I wasn't interested in seeing the movie. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think his Joker could compare to that of Thingamabobby, the guy who played the last Joker in The Dark Knight Rises. I've forgotten his name, so I'm just going to move on with that one. Heath Ledger, that was the one. I've got it now. Haha, my head went boop. Yep, you've got a name. And so I didn't think people could ever match, nobody could ever match how Heath Ledger's character was, but it was definitely up there with the great. Jared Leto's Joker was definitely on par and matched fairly well with sort of the Joker character. So I'm definitely on board with that side of the Joker. For saying I'm not a DC fan, I've never liked the DC universe. Batman is probably the only thing that I liked about DC, because he was a fairly interesting character, not just sort of him as Batman, but also Bruce Wayne and all that sort of stuff. So I quite liked it. I must just be attracted to the money, I guess. Yeah, it's the money, man. It's the money. Just, you see money and you just go, yes, I will have that. Other than that, though, as I said, the reason I'm kind of making this video and keeping my eyes or keeping my sort of brain on the point of Suicide Squad is because it was given a terrible review by Rotten Tomatoes and has been given a terrible review by quite a few people that I've talked to, which has driven me a bit insane because quite a while back I also did a World of Madness and I talked about Star Wars, the new movie, right? And I got quite a few views on that video, and people also agree with me of what I said about it, that it was a recreation of one of the last movies, a classic movie, and it didn't need to be made, or it could have been changed massively. Now, the problem I have is the people which have suggested stuff to improve Suicide Squad now is a lot of what people have said are not really too great or very good at improving the movie. Like, most people have said that they should have more Joker scenes. Once again, I go back to my point of it's not about the Joker, it's about the characters. It's about Suicide Squad. Right, and there has been one main thing that I've agreed with is the introduction to the characters. So slight spoiler. It's not too big of a spoiler, to be fair. Deadshot and Harley were the only ones given a proper intro, and El Diablo's character was built up over time. Now, one thing that most people say is if you don't know the character's origins and stuff, you don't get a very good character arc out of characters in a movie. Now, something I've noticed recently and a lot in sort of our modern culture of movies and that sort of thing is people constantly look for some form of character arc or something that has changed about a character which makes them more interesting. But then again, people complain that there isn't enough character arc and then expect a character to be more realistic. Now, let me ask you this. You, as a human being, do you have a character arc? And this is one of the points I'm going to majorly get across, is I don't have a fucking character arc, so why should anyone else? It's not about a character arc, it's about some fun! If there's one thing I loved about Suicide Squad, is I never got bored. There's not a single point in the movie I would have gone, bloody hell, this is boring. I was constantly sat there excited. I was wanting to watch it again and again and again, and I even got home and instantly put on the Suicide Squad soundtrack, and I've been listening to it ever since. Just be clear, it was about a week and a bit ago, or maybe just a week ago, I don't know, something like that, since I went to see the movie. And the fact that it's still on my mind definitely says a lot about how the movie has affected me. Now, most people will be like, but I feel that way with every movie. Yes, that may be true, and that is because that sort of, that movie, whatever movie you might have seen where you've got a particular soundtrack, you would want to go back and watch it. Now, a lot of people will go that it was the same for a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy. So we're going to Marvel here because Marvel does most of the sort of comic book movies, and they're the sort of best comparison that you can really get. So when it comes to something like Guardians of the Galaxy, which had a fantastic soundtrack to it, you have to remember is that the soundtrack was actually populated by songs from the 80s and also songs that you might have heard from going to discos. It's songs that you have already listened to or have a tune where you can easily go back to it. But there's no point in the actual movie which actually suited the songs too well, which made you think about the movie. They only made you think about the actual songs going in, which is something you've kind of got to remember with a lot of movies, is that they try and appeal to you and try and get you into the movie by having a set song which makes you which reminds you of the movie. Now, the one that I would go with for Guardians of the Galaxy is that they had the Uka Chaka song, I can't stop this feeling deep inside of you, blah 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 blah. And that was one that people instantly synced with Guardians of the Galaxy because it was in the trailer, it was in the actual movie, and that sort of made people go, oh, okay, then that's how I'm linking them together. Now, one thing that I liked about Suicide Squad is the songs that you listen to, other than Queen Bohemian Rhapsody, which wasn't the actual official one, and was actually a cover, is that none of the songs, actually quite a few of the songs actually, now that I think about it, looking back on it, because we had there was a few 90s songs and a bit earlier than that, but there were also a couple modern music and some music from, is it 21 Pilots, which is I've never heard of. Since Suicide Squad. Before that, I had never ever heard of the band 21 Pilots. So, one thing that I like is that it introduced me to a new band, which is something you don't get with a lot of movies, is you only listen to the music from people who have already been making music, and then you might have listened to quite a bit. Which is something that, very interestingly, Deadpool did as a movie. Which most people go, Deadpool was hilarious, it was funny, it was great, but after you know the jokes and you actually look into how the movie is, it wasn't as great as it could have been. Yes, Deadpool was really funny, it was hilarious, right? But in Deadpool, you spent more time with him bitching about his loved one than actually kicking some ass, which is basically what Deadpool is. Deadpool is an ass-kicking maniac, and very insane. My words have just gone all poop today. Right, so that's kind of what I want to talk about. This all stemmed, by the way, from me wanting to talk about how movies were while I was doing some mining, because to be fair, I needed some resources. I'm going to start setting up some railway networks in my home, so I wanted to try and get some stuff, but I didn't really have a lot to do. I didn't have enough resources beforehand to really start anything, so I had to get some stuff. So I decided to talk about something which people might actually be interested in. If you're not interested, then that's fine. If you guys want me to go actually if you guys are interested in what I say about movies and how I review movies, then I will happily make some videos on that sort of stuff. But if you're not, then I'll fine. I can just do them every so often when doing a World of Madness episode. I love talking about movies. I'm a huge movie fan. I didn't study movies. I'm gonna put it out there right now. Is I have no degree in studying movies. I have no sense of awareness when it comes to how movies are made. But if there's one thing that I can say is I also had no sense or awareness when it came to how Minecraft videos were made or anything like that. It's called a passion. And this is one thing that I like, is having a passion for something, so you have the knowledge of how to do something, but you just don't want to do it as either a profession or a job. Now, I like movies. I don't think I could ever make a movie on my own, and I don't ever want to try, but it's definitely something that I will happily talk about, because I do have a huge passion for the film industry, and I think it stems from being a YouTuber as well, is the fact that I'm making videos every day, doing something a bit different. I might have a schedule, but each day is something new to me, and it's something different, and I learn something new, which is one thing that I always love, is I love learning something new. So when I learn about movies, or I learn about how to edit videos so they're a bit better, it is learning something new. Now, a lot of what I learn is usually coding based as well. So I learn something new about coding, or I learn something new. Ooh, zombie! I learn something new about how something is made, or it's that sort of stuff. It's that sort of research which I get really interested in, and I'm really big for. Is the stuff which you find out and go, oh my god, that's really interesting. So to me, I find a lot of stuff interesting. Hello there, little fella. I just killed you. So yeah, it's kind of, that was actually, I guess it's more of a delve into my actual character there. So that's part of my character arc, as you can see. So soon I will be, to improve my character arc and make it so I'm more of a model citizen, I'm going to then start murdering people, but learn a lesson from it. Which is usually what happens in any movie, game, or anything like that, is you have a character arc, and in order to, see yourself in that character arc, you have to kill a load of people, feel bad for it, and then take revenge, or do something else. Which is what I really bloody hate about most character arcs, is they make no bloody sense. And that is one of the things I hate. So, I'm actually going to say, since I've got back home, and this is kind of more my mission, is to just grab a load of supplies, I'm going to say thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Check out everybody else who did the World of Madness series, and also check out all my other World of Madness videos. And thank you guys for listening. If you've got any more suggestions for movies which I should go see, please suggest them for me, because I love going out, watching movies. Granted, it's expensive, but it's definitely always worth it. So I would say thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.